Hi people, I'm making curio box. So I have the polycarbonate sheet and it's 11 by 14. There's a little bit of an overhang which we're going to cut off using that knife hopefully, and if not then a Dremel, and if not then a saw. And I have my little tiny hinges, and I have this which is like an old wine crate or something that I've had lying around for ages and finally decided to do something with it. And then I have this super thin sheet of wood, and I've already measured and marked out how wide it is across. So the shelves are going to be going up, so it's going to stand the long ways up, because that way you can see the designs on the side. And yeah. So as you can see, we used this little knife, which is supposed to be cutting, it's supposed to be for cutting acrylic, but I think this is too thick, even though it looks really thin, because we ran over it a bunch of times and it really just isn't making a difference on the surface, and it's too close to the edge of the acrylic board for me to really put any pressure down on it to snap it in half, and so we're going to switch to a Dremel. So now that I have cut the acrylic with a Dremel, which by the way, always wear a mask and goggles and all that good stuff, it fits. But before I do anything like putting hinges, before I put any hinges on it, I need to cut the shelves out and install them, which I think I am probably just going to do with good wood glue. Hopefully if I cut these well enough, it won't take anything extra. So that being said, let's get started and I will see you when it is all cut. As you can see, I now have my 3 pieces cut and I have to test whether they fit or not. So let's see. Just barely. This one might need a little bit of support unless I turn it around. Okay, still needs support, but not as much. And then this one, I still have to determine the lengths. So that one actually fits relatively tightly. I'll need to adjust it with like a hammer or something so it's in line. Whatever, it fits. And then the last one, let's see. Also fits. Sweet. So we are now on our way to having a little cabinet where I can put all of my fossils and other random cool stuff that I collect. So the wood is so pretty in the light. I love it. I need to clean out the inside of this box because it is quite dusty, and then I will see about doing wood glue and maybe some minor supports for these shelves so that they don't totally fall apart. I don't think I have any really small nails or anything, which is unfortunate, but we will have to make do. So after some playing around, I decided to actually leave out this last shelf and instead only do 3 sections, because number one, that allows me to get rid of this piece that wasn't perfectly cut and is a little too loose, and also it just leaves more room for putting stuff, so if I have larger objects, it made more sense. The inside was roughly 13.5 inches, and so I just divided it, so each of these is 4.5 inches apart, and now I have to glue it. So I put a weight on top to make sure that it's pressing into the back of the thing. I can't really control the sides, and so what I did instead is I cut these three strips that were left over from when I cut the end off of this, which was 11 by 14 and was slightly too big. And so these are each 4.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is once this is relatively dry, I am going to put it lengthwise like this all the way in the back. Hopefully it won't be super noticeable and it won't take up that much space, and so then I can support each of the shelves so that I don't have to worry so much about, like, this side doesn't, there we go, this side doesn't fully connect, and so this will help, these strips will help support it running up and down. So it is dark now, and I moved inside, and I'm in the bathroom just because the lighting is better. But I had the weight on top of 2 shelves to press it down into the bottom so that it would stay in place. And while that was drying, I actually took this off for a little bit. And if you can see, I used 2 of the little pieces, and this one is slightly bowed because of the pressure between the 2, because it's such a tight fit, but that's okay. And I put this one here. I decided that this was going to be the top, and so it didn't really need any support here. So I basically ran the wood glue on the bottom of the box where I wanted to put it down, and then I fitted it in, and then wiped away as much of the wood glue on the side as I could, and then I peeled off the protective layer so that it is all nice and clear. So now I have my supports, and what is going to happen next is I am going to attach the hinges to this part, and then I'm going to drill it in. So I checked, and I have krazy glue because that's how I'm going to attach them. I checked, and if I put this on top, and I get one of these hinges, and I try and put it on, it's too tall. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take off the bottom layer of this protective stuff, and then I'm going to put it, if I can do this, I'm going to put it, there you go. I'm going to put it like this, and then put this on top. So I cut 3 pieces of red wire. I have this copper wire, but it's flat and it doesn't fit through the holes, so I couldn't use that. So the only one I had that was thick enough was this red wire, which honestly probably wouldn't look bad. I guess I can just make the color scheme of it kind of brass and red and brown, which looks fine. So I cut equal lengths, and I'm just going to attach them now. So I finished putting the things on, and it's a little janky, but not too bad. And so now really the only thing left is to take off this cover and decorate the inside. That's a lie. Actually, I still need to finish sanding down these edges so that they fit just a little bit better. So after a lot of struggling, I have attached the hinges, and I also went ahead and added latches on the side so that the door wouldn't swing open on its own. These holes were already drilled in the side when I was going to attach legs to make this into a table, and so I just ran a piece of wire through it. This one is kind of lumpy, but I just ran a piece of wire through it and then curled it up on the inside so that it wouldn't come out. And then the wire is relatively flexible, so it can just be unbent like this, and it can be opened. So overall, the hinges were a lot more frustrating than I thought they were going to be, and I bet you there are other ways to attach it, or, you know, I could have just gotten a thicker piece of acrylic, not something that had occurred to me at the time. And I'm certainly not going to go all the way back to Home Depot and get another one, but it is done, and now all that's left is to decorate it.